Aspartame is the best.
It preserves you, right?
And you know what? That sucralose stuff, bullshit. I had a Coke Zero.
Yeah,
Okay, it's fine, but mid.
just mid.
Have you ever had a Coke Zero?
If I did, I would have blocked it out, I think, because I'm just so used to Diet Coke, you know? It just sounds gross. I haven't heard good
Yeah.
reviews.
I don't like the sweetness. I was like raised on Diet Cokes, so this is the only way.
This
Not
is
Diet
the only
Pepsi,
way.
Diet Coke.
Amen.
Yeah, how
That's
are
on
your
that. That's on the Bible.
period. What are your thoughts on Diet Cokes? So I can vamp and take a sip.
Well, I was also raised on Diet Coke. I was once revived. I don't know how many times I've told the story. I've been telling a lot of people lately, but
I feel like kind of like a grandma. You're like, let me tell you a story.
yes, I do.
But I like this story.
I feel like a grandma when I tell the story because it's like that same story you tell to everyone,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, okay, I've heard it. But yeah,
I say bring it on. I love this story.
I was like 5 or so, and I had like passed out from dehydration on the kitchen floor. I remember this vaguely. Everything went black. And I just remember hearing my aunt go, someone quick, let's give her a Diet Coke. And someone else suggested water. And she's like, no, she needs Diet Coke. And it did. It woke me right up out of my slumber. And I felt alive. So
You get the fizziness. You get the
yeah, Diet
the
Cokes
magic of
save
Diet
lives.
Coke. Oh, and the glasses are coming off. Now that you told the story.
I can't do now that the story time is over.
I love it.
I feel like I just saw you, but I haven't seen you. It's weird.
Yeah, the last time we saw each other. Well, last week we talked about the Oscars. Last week was the Oscar week. So we talked about our fashions, our thoughts on the winners. And
It's just
then
other
the
night.
last time I saw you, we went full throttle.
We did. Oh my gosh. Yes. Are we gonna talk?
We got it. Let's just jump in.
Let's just jump in.
Good morning, angels. It's Nikki.
And it's Brie.
And we're
Late to the Party.
a podcast about the film, fashion, and pop culture moments that shaped us into the weirdos that we are. And today, we are going full throttle. And by that, we mean, so I believe in our Nora episode, we stated that if Demi Moore wins the Best Actress Oscar, that we were going to watch Charlie's Angels Full Throttle because you've never seen it before.
I've never seen, which honestly, since when we watched it, there's some parts that I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I have seen this. Like maybe like once, but it's very fuzzy. Like, because there's certain scenes that I remember.
Me too. Okay.
Like maybe at a sleepover, maybe like when we were hanging out once, like late night movie.
I feel the same way. And I know I've seen this movie before and I've watched it this morning again. And there's bits and pieces of this movie that I have Tomb Raiders.
I was going to say, it's like Tomb Raider's disease. Yes, absolutely.
Similar soundtracks, similar impact on me like through my childhood.
Yeah.
Yet, I can't really tell you the plot of this film. Like, I can tell you the gist-ish, but it's all vibes. Like, I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly what happens.
I know, like in my notes, there's not like I didn't make a lot of notes about the plot, just like about certain moments and outfits and
Just, yeah.
it's a
Shenanigans.
time. Shenanigans. This movie is literally all shenanigans, and I love it.
Yes. Yeah. No. Well, the long story long, Demi Moore didn't win the Best Actress Oscar.
No, she did not.
At
Which have you
last
seen the
week's ceremony.
discourse online?
I don't know. It's not. So, what is the discourse? Like, if you will.
Just, some people are upset about her not winning, and they're saying it's ageism, but then there's people who are upset that Mikey Madison won, and
Because a lot of the discourse is like, oh, it's like the thesis of the substance.
yeah. Which I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like it's hard to it's hard to compare the two,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's the feminist hot take everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
To say that it's just like the plot of the substance and Demi Moore deserved to win and it's ageism. Like, I don't know. That's very unfair to Mikey Madison, who obviously deserved the Academy Award.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know, when we're always talking about the Oscars anyways, it's about the narrative that year.
That's true.
And of course, like, with the substance plot on the mind and Demi Moore's
yeah.
second comeback, because we're going to be talking about the first today.
Yes.
But, like, the narrative is that Demi Moore has to win because if not, it's ageism, which isn't feminism. It doesn't make it whatever. I think this is a great moment for Mikey Madison, who's, you know, just starting off in her career and like,
yeah,
that's not.
You don't see that
fair.
happen a lot, actually. I feel like, once in a blue moon, I feel like we get like a really young actor or actress that's like up and coming and gets the
like
Oscar.
Jennifer Lawrence was like the last, right?
Yeah, that I can remember, like the
Yeah.
most recent. So.
And Mikey Madison's one of those actors that, you know, she's won the Oscar, but with all this newfound like success, she's going to get cast in more roles.
Yeah.
And she's going to grow and do more amazing work. So,
right. And
Demi,
she's, you know, she won all those other awards. So
Yeah,
that's good.
she's
She is getting
amazing.
recognized. So
Demi's gonna more, you know?
yeah. I feel like maybe if she wasn't getting recognized in all those other award shows, I might feel a little different, you know? But I don't know.
I love both of them.
Yeah. I'm just like, can't we just love both? I know they both can't win the Oscar, but
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's not that serious. Like you know what I mean? Like I like them both. I saw some good arguments online though for Nora, just like how well, they both gave really good performances. Both very different movies, saying very different things, I feel.
It's also not like the character of Honora is like Sue.
Uh-huh.
It's not like a Sue type character.
No.
Even though they're both sexy and young.
Yeah.
It's not the same. Like I feel like Honora has more in common with Elizabeth in certain ways than with Sue.
Yeah. Yeah, Sue hasn't really lived. Sue's just been born.
Yeah, Sue's just been born on someone's
yesterday.
back. Which I
Can that be an insult?
She was just born yesterday.
Oh.
Which, yeah. I saw no, it's not Mikey. It's Mickey 17 yesterday with Robert Pattinson.
What is that?
Oh, it's a new Bong Joon-ho movie. But it's like Robert Pattinson plays like an expendable who dies all the time as his job and comes back to life.
Oh.
But anyways, there's like 2 Mickeys. So I don't know. It makes me thought of the
fun.
substance.
Is it good?
It's really weird.
All right. But it's Robert Pattinson and who else?
Robert Pattinson and Mark Ruffalo and Naomi Ackie and Toni Collette.
Okay. Have you letterboxed it?
I've letterboxed that I've watched it. I don't like to do reviews.
No?
We talked about this before.
I know a little bit.
Let's come back. Let's come back, Brie.
I know. I'm sorry. I missed you. I don't want to talk about everything, but I know we're here to talk about Full Throttle. So, like, I just
picture you throughout this episode. Just every time things get off tangent or like there's a pause, you just do the
motorcycle noise.
sound.
Yeah, that'll be the transition back to the point. Oh. Anyways.
It's just us trailing off and the sound gets lower and lower and lower and then you hear vroom, vroom. But anyways, Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Yeah.
We're going full throttle, baby, even though Demi Moore didn't win.
That's, but you should still go Full Throttle.
You always go full throttle. Demi Moore did in The Substance. She won all those other awards.
That's right.
So she's still a winner.
Vroom, vroom. Hold on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to keep us on task.
Thinking about what you said, it actually like sunk in.
Oh, okay.
I was like, yeah, she won every single other award.
Yeah.
She's still a winner just because she didn't win the Academy Award.
That's right.
She still won a boatload of awards. It doesn't negate it.
No, it does not. Did you think she looked salty though?
She did.
She did a little bit. Oh,
and I love that.
I love it. I feel like, in Full Throttle, I like her as the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like there's something about her. Like, there must be like, I don't know. She can tap into something similar to in The Substance, like a darkness or something that just comes through on screen.
100%. Madison Lee is the role that Demi Moore is like born to play.
Yes, I really wanted more of her in this film. Honestly, I don't know.
No, she's a highlight in a movie that has so many highlights.
Yeah, I feel like this movie it's just such a silly goose time.
It's so fun. It's like the angels are back and they're like, oh, you liked the first one or you didn't like the first one? We're going to turn it up. Turn up the volume.
Yeah. I loved it. I wrote, this movie has everything. Dancing for no reason, celebrity cameos, motocross.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else.
Drew Barrymore dressed as David Bowie.
As David Bowie, yeah.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
Which, this is a roundabout way to say that I am kind of late to the party on Bernie Mac. R.I.P. But, I really like him in this film.
He's so funny. I remember, like, his show was so funny back in the day. I used to watch his show quite a bit. Just, it was on TV in the evening.
Make excuses, but
yeah.
you don't have to like.
No, I'm just saying, like, it was like a routine, like, because I don't know. I was always watching TV in the evening. Like,
what
a
was
granny again.
What was the lineup? Was Wendy Williams in this lineup?
Maybe. I'm trying to remember because the network's changed. I don't know.
What was your routine circa your Bernie Mac days?
It's hard. I really don't remember what else was on other than Bernie Mac. Or maybe Malcolm in the Middle? I wonder if that was on around the same time.
I wonder.
I don't know, but I feel like I always watch those like kind of sitcom-y like family shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was one of them. Malcolm in the Middle, Bernie Mac show. Everybody Hates Chris. That was funny.
That's a good one.
It's relatable in a way, just I don't know. Just don't know.
Did you relate? Wasn't Terry Crews the dad?
I think so. I mean, I just mean like being a kid at that time, like
in the 70s.
No, wait, was he really in the 70s?
So
I thought
it was supposed to be Chris Rock's life. Hence the Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh. Yeah, I guess maybe I just got confused.
No, I
thought I was in the 70s.
That's your fever dream. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle does feel like if I had a dream about Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
And somehow it works.
Yeah, that is another thing we were talking about when we watched this film together. This fine film.
Yes.
That like...
Or you watched this film while I slept. But
you did fall asleep during one of the pivotal moments.
I really, when the going got good is when I decided to take a little snooze. Since I watched it this morning and I was like, man.
Oh, you rewatched it to see what you missed?
Yeah, I had to because I was like, wow, I really missed a lot.
Yeah, I looked up. I was like, how long has she been asleep?
So maybe that's why I also have Tomb Raider's disease.
It's okay. I feel like, I just watched this film, but I already want to watch it again,
I recommend it.
Yeah. I want to force everyone to watch it.
It's so good. Both of them are great.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Put it in the Louvre.
Yes.
Right by the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
You know how the Mona Lisa's in its own room? Charlie's
Is it
Angels
really?
Full Throttle. I believe so. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle should also be in the room with Mona Lisa.
Yeah, they should have like the costumes on display or something, like in a case,
Just Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz, and Drew Barrymore just in glass.
Yeah. I'd go to see it.
Vroom. So anyways, what is your relationship with Charlie's Angels Full Throttle? Where do you fall in line with the franchise?
Well, I think I'm pretty late. I think I've seen it like maybe once, and I swear it must have been with you because I think I've only seen like the first one too, the first Charlie's Angels. I think I've seen that with you, but I don't remember seeing it in a theater. So
we were very young when these films came out. So,
but like I'm trying to think, like I don't think any other friends were like into Charlie's Angels. Why? I don't know. They were lame.
No taste.
No taste. Clearly,
you tell me you weren't 5 years old being like, vroom vroom, bitch.
Yeah.
No, I remember. I wasn't that young exactly, but still single digits. I begged my godmother. I was like, we have to see Charlie's Angels 2 or Full Throttle.
Yeah.
Like, we must. And I remember being so mortified that I like begged and pleaded to see this film when the Pussycat Dolls scene came up. I was like, oh my God, I took her to see a porno. You know,
oh no!
like, my
really?
little kid brain was like,
wait,
just
what
so
scene
embarrassed.
was that? There was a Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah, when they're at the like burlesque show.
Oh, that's cool. They just work in like a cameo. This has so many celebrity cameos.
Mm-hmm. This film is like top to bottom with cameos, just like the first one. That's like the thing that I love about the Drew Barrymore Charlie's Angels franchise.
Yeah,
just so many banger of like 80s songs, pop culture references galore.
I love the soundtrack.
Cameos. Yes.
When they did like, there's like this really, it's a short scene, but like they're on like a, I don't know if it's an oil rig. I don't know. What is it called? Like they're at like they're at sea. They're like at like a port.
Yeah, they're
where
like
they do
welding.
Yeah, the point is they're welding.
Yeah.
And they start playing What a Feeling as they're welding. And I'm like, oh my God, I love it. And I love that. It's like, I know that reference. Like, that's just so fun.
That was my favorite reference in this film. It was good. I was like, yes. My favorite one, I'm trying to think. Because, yeah, this film has a lot of, like, needle drops and a lot of, like, throwback. Like, all of them are so perfect, too.
Yes.
Full Throttle's different because, like, I know my favorite needle drop in the first film.
Yeah, some of the songs,
like,
I'm like, oh, what is that song?
But I do love when they are introducing Justin Theroux's O'Grady character as, like, the boyfriend of Dylan's past. In, like, a flashback. In present day, Dylan is like played by Drew Barrymore. Like, oh, we used to like make out in her car and listen to heavy metal, and then cut to, and then it's her and Justin Theroux like rocking out, just Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. It like works really well, but it's also really funny.
That got me,
but still very good. I liked the pink motocross scene. That's a standout for me as far as scenes go.
Yes. I thought Pink would be more of like I thought she was kind of going to be the villain or something. Or like I thought she was going to be like someone that they would fight. I don't know if it's just her edgy haircut or
I really wanted Pink to hop on a
motorcycle. Yeah, I thought she'd just be in the action more is what I'm trying to say. I just thought she, you know what I mean? Like she's just kind of like, okay guys, she's like the girl that does like whatever, the flag
girl, yeah.
Yeah. But that wasn't, to me, I'm like, oh, that's it?
But she did the theme song for this film.
Yeah.
Feel Good Time.
That's true.
Originally written and going to be sung by Beck.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. No, it feels right that it's Pink.
Wouldn't that be, I mean, it does sound like that like Beck era where he was like singing Deborah and like had all those throwbacky songs, kind of like Austin Powers-y songs.
I haven't heard much Beck, I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I have to check it out. Episode. I love Austin Powers, so I'm like intrigued now. I'm like, you said Austin Powers.
Yeah.
That could have worked, I guess. Yeah.
No. Girl power, man.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's the spirit of girl power.
I think that would be, if it was a Beck song, lame. Pink song. Feels right. Feels very like 2003.
You know what scene I also loved as far as like girl power and the soundtrack? Hammer Time.
Oh my God. Actually, if we are talking about movies that shaped us into the weirdos that we are, the Hammer Time sequence, every time I move, I have very high expectations because I think in my dreams that that's how moving should be.
Oh, like moving, like furniture, like
friends.
Yeah.
Every time I'm with friends and we don't break out the hammer dance,
right? Just stab.
Also,
Hammer Time.
Lucy Lou's calf muscles. Like workout inspiration. Anyways.
Yeah. I just love that scene. It's like they literally just start singing and dancing for no reason. Or like maybe it was on the TV. Was it playing on the TV?
I think.
Or on a radio?
I think Natalie Cameron Diaz's character just puts it on TV.
Natalie just puts it
on the TV because that's how the scene begins. It's like the shot of MC Hammer doing the hammer dance.
I think there should be more scenes like this in like more movies, just dancing, just no rhyme or reason, like
no,
you know,
pro
just break into dance.
I love when people dance. Like hello,
what'd your ears?
Oh my God,
you okay?
Okay,
just got bored out of someone's back.
A little bit. Oh, it's Demi Moore coming to get me.
Just putting a curse on you. She wasn't good. She was great.
I know.
Oh,
one single tear. Anyways, maybe it was the universe's vroom vroom. It's the plot.
They're like, that's enough.
They already were weird and creepy about Lucy Lou's.
I don't know what to say. But it's okay. I mean,
it's okay. Cut that out.
I was looking at Demi Moore's abs. So.
Oh, really?
Like, damn, girl, how'd you get those washboard abs?
All I remember about this movie from the time was that even though this is my first frame of reference for Demi Moore, you know, she had like such a major career and then took like a career break.
Yeah.
And I do remember at the time people being like, oh my God, Demi Moore's back in a bikini.
Caught everyone's
looking
eye.
hot at 40.
Oh,
And
is
now-
she 40?
Yeah. And now everyone looks hot at 40.
That's true. Yeah, that's crazy. All right.
We've progressed as a society a little bit.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We've opened our minds. Wow.
Also, this is the movie that, like, at the premiere, she shows up with Ashton Kutcher and her family.
Yeah, they were a thing, weren't
They
they?
were
I
a
forget
thing.
about that. Like, I was
It was
looking
a
at
scandal.
just them being together.
Yeah,
Like, tell
the
me
age
more.
gap. Because Demi Moore, in her like fabulous cougarness, and Ashton Kutcher, who was very successful at this time,
Mm.
beats me. Always been a hater.
You've never liked him. Are you
No.
putting that on the record?
It's because in Just Married, at least the beginning scene, because I've only seen the beginning scene, he was kind of mean to Brittany Murphy.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I remember you saying that. Like, that's just
yeah,
not okay.
in one scene in Just Married, and
That's
I
all
was
it takes.
like, so all the stuff with Diddy now, I'm like,
Yeah,
I've been new.
I know
yeah.
I've kind of mentioned it, but rewatching those,
Yeah, punked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's some signs there too. So
we should have seen the signs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I mean, Demi saw the signs. They didn't stay together, right?
Yeah. So they probably.
That'd
I
be
don't-
weird if they were still together. I'm trying to imagine that.
No, I love this era of Demi Moore. Just, all kids, she's like supportive of her ex-husband, Bruce Willis, and his dementia.
Which he's in this film too, right?
Yes.
That was crazy to me to see him with all that hair and I don't know. Did he have a mustache or something?
Yeah. No, and I loved in the opening scene, which we gotta talk
Oh,
about.
yes.
Okay. Rewind.
That's my first note.
because we gotta talk about the opening. But first, just before we get too much in the weeds on our like third room, but not to get too into the weeds, the plot of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. The Angels, Lucy Liu, Drew Barrymore, and Cameron Diaz are ready to go undercover to retrieve 2 missing silver wedding bands containing valuable encrypted information, the new identities of every person in the federal witness protection program. When witnesses start to turn up dead, only the Angels can stop the perpetrator by using their expertise as masters of disguise, espionage, and martial arts. Oh, yeah.
Love it. I do also love that these, like the Charlie's Angels franchise, or at least the 2000s versions, use like the elements of Master of Disguise. Like, like the silicone, like the heads, like you know what I mean? Like just the full crazy like makeup and disguising
100%.
yourself. Looking like Joe Dirt.
Love a good disguise.
Yes.
The Angels have the best disguise.
Did we just decide to stop doing that? Like at a certain point in society? Like I don't think, like, you know how they remade Charlie's Angels in
Yeah.
2019, I think?
Yeah.
I'm just, are they really disguising themselves, you think? Or is that
gotta
we're
watch it
over?
then.
I think we should watch it.
We need to watch it. We need to fully immerse ourselves in at least all the Charlie's Angels films.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I know. I'm like, this is my life now. I'm going to make Charlie's Angels my personality.
Because I heard the 2019 one, the discourse was that it was so bad. I didn't watch it. But I did think Don't Call Me Angel with Lana Del Rey, Miley Ariana.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bop. I like that song.
I like the song. I also like K-Stew.
I like Naomi Scott.
Yeah.
That other lady's pretty, but I won't objectify her like I did Lucy Liu. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by it, just like the modern take and what kind of music they're going to play, like how important is the soundtrack. So
Are they doing the theme song? Who's
Oh.
Bosley?
Who is Bosley? You're right.
Is Elizabeth Banks Bosley? I
That'd be
don't
kinda
know.
cool.
I guess we're going to have to watch it
We
to
need
find
to,
out.
I just feel like we need to watch.
But anyways, the opening. So the opening of Full Throttle is very similar to like the structure of the first film.
Yeah.
So we get our like first ass kicking scene in the beginning.
Oh my
Which
God.
Thoughts? Because I know you have them because you turned to me and you were like, best opening.
Well, okay, to be honest, I don't remember the very, very beginning. I just
The one that you said the best opening? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, that one. No, it's the Tomb Raider's disease. No, but what I do remember is them like jumping off a cliff, like rolling. Like, wait, is this where they jump out the window, or is that another time?
This is actually a very memorable opening.
Yeah, can you just
as well.
like paint the picture just a little, and then it
Yeah.
will jog my memory?
So
Because all I wrote down was opening scene.
So the film opens in Mongolia.
Yes. Okay, it's all coming back to me. Yeah, they're in like a bar, right?
Mhm.
And it's Cameron Diaz is
She comes in like with her hair in like pigtails and like that big puffy white like Mongolian like fur like jacket
yeah.
and her little like boots.
Yeah, she's like distracting all the men,
Yeah.
and she rides like a bull or something.
She does.
And then like Alex and Dylan, right, are man, where are they? I'm trying to remember. I feel like this part was like a little, it wasn't the action quite yet, but they get into a bar fight because they're trying to sneak someone out, right? That's
the guy with one of the bands and like he's some senator or something. That's where the Tomb Raider's disease.
Yeah, that's where it's,
What I do know is Cameron Diaz on the bull and all the Mongolians just going, yay!
Yeah,
And then
they're
turning
like,
against her when they find out that they're kung fu badasses.
yeah. That kung fu scene is so fun. Like the fight scenes in this movie are so fun.
So fun.
I love how they they kind of just avoid the bullets, and that's when they do jump out the window, right?
They
Don't
do.
they just to avoid, because there's this crazy guy with like 2 machine guns or something, and he's just like, "Brah!" And then they do the slow-mo like Matrix backflip. And what I love too is when they do like that slow-mo and then it speeds up, you know? It's just like so fun.
I love it. I think it just, you were talking about when we were watching this film, we were like, oh, the Matrix and bullet time is so cheesy.
Yeah.
And like, I was trying to be like, oh, well, you know, in 1999, it was like really cool. And Charlie's Angels, this franchise, what I think it does really well is like lampooning bullet time in a way, but also using it to its like full advantage.
Yeah.
And like, because now for Full Throttle, we're in the year 2003, it's like so much more self-aware. Like this is the year the 2 final Matrixes come out. And it's like bullet time's already been a thing. Like it's not like this cool thing that they were doing in the first film.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know, a little more self-awareness, which is perfect for Charlie's Angels. The crazy CGI, especially in the opening scene, like that's totally giving Spy Kids 3D.
Yes,
at
where they're like
times.
falling in the air and there's like
Totally.
explosions behind them, and they're, I don't know.
Yeah. And it just like works for Charlie's Angels because it's like funny and like a cartoon.
It is very cartoony. I love that though. Yeah. I don't know. No notes on the opening scene. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what happens after they jump out the window and there's like all those explosions. Are they do they end up on a boat, or what did they do?
Well, that's the first.
That's the first one.
Where Cameron Diaz is LL Cool J.
Oh yeah.
But that's iconic. But yeah, I don't really remember.
Oh wait, is it where they introduce the ladies? Is the guys like Once Upon a Time? Like is that the transition maybe where he like does the flashbacks and they show them as like kids or teenagers,
and then we get like their current situation.
Yeah.
So, but I love that. I love when they do like Once Upon a Time, and in this one they show like the younger version of the Angels just in like different scenarios. It's just the same as the first, like same formula. But it's still great.
I love to see the young angel. It's very entertaining still.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Any back in the day angels that stood out to you?
Yes. I loved seeing Drew Barrymore as David Bowie as a wrestler.
Lady Mischief or Lady something.
Yeah, that was hilarious to me. I'm trying to think what else. Lucy Liu, her character was doing like, was she just doing gymnastics? And then turned into like a tournament chess player. Oh yeah, the tournament chess. And then gosh. Man, what did Cameron Diaz? Cameron Diaz
was a beaver mascot.
Oh, she was a mascot. Okay.
With a retainer.
Yeah.
And
dancing.
No, I love that. I wrote down, it's like the Spice World pipeline. I feel like the Charlie's Angels films wouldn't have this like sense of humor if not for Spice World.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the same to me.
They laid it down.
The blueprint. The girl power blueprint.
Yes.
where we get the hammer time scene.
Yep.
So Natalie, Cameron Diaz's character, is moving in with Luke Wilson.
Yes.
Repeat.
Which it picks up from the first film because they met in the first film.
Yep. Dancing. And then it's like at the restaurant. And then it's a callback in this one because Luke Wilson's character has his like 10th high school reunion at Rydell High, which Rydell High is the high school in Greece. Little joke. So yeah, Alex is with Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc, I feel like, is just Joey from Friends.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
he's very Joey.
He plays an actor.
He does.
So it's just, I don't know. It's hard not to make that connection, I guess.
And according to Alex, Dylan's horny, broke, and wearing Alex's boots. Kind of where we left off in the first film.
Yeah. I like it. I like that it's like pretty much just right there. Except for Bosley.
Yeah.
Who was Bernie Mac.
What did you think of that? Because in the first film, Bill Murray was Bosley. And in this one, it's like they're brothers. So it's Bernie Mac.
Yeah, I was like, what was the explanation? They just said they're brothers, and I think that was it.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I like Bernie Mac, so I don't mind.
No, I liked the introduction to Bernie Mac.
He's fun. I mean, compared to Bill Murray, I don't know. But didn't Bill Murray have some issues, like filming or something? Like there's tension on set.
He refused to work with Mick G again, and then it was the whole thing with like Lucy Liu didn't like Bill Murray, and they like butted heads.
I wonder why
What's
Mick
that?
G. You would think he'd be a fun director to work with, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted him to do too many fun things.
Maybe.
Bill Murray seems like he could be a bit of a curmudgeon.
I vaguely remember us talking about it when we've talked about the first film, so maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Bernie Mac in this film a lot. I love that they like integrate a lot of like Bernie Mac humor.
Yes.
And he gets to like tell his Bernie Mac style jokes.
Yes.
Like my favorite one, because this film is like Madison Lee, Demi Moore's character, is one of the villains, but it's also a subplot with Drew Barrymore's character and like the O'Grady Irish mob.
Mm-hmm.
And Bernie Mac is like stopped at the gates because he's undercover as Patty O'Grady. And they're like, you don't look like a Patty to me. And Bernie Mac's like, my people invented the McRib, Lucky Charms, Shamrock Shake. That's us. And then he goes, get a whiff, and pulls up his like arm to smell his pits and goes, Irish Spring.
Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh. That scene cracked me up. I just watched that scene again because he's just so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder how much like Bernie Mac just got to like ad lib.
I wonder. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like with this kind of movie too, I feel like you just, yeah, there's like a lot of opportunities for ad libbing. Like I could totally see that.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to be a fly on the wall.
Same. I mean, I saw the bloopers, which is a great part about the Charlie's Angels films too.
I was going to say, like, I love that they have the bloopers at the end.
100%. Any other like standouts?
Yes. When they go to investigate like the crime scene at this house, remember they go to like investigate a crime scene and they're like in disguise. Basically, Cameron Diaz looks like Joe Dirt.
Yes.
That's
yes,
all.
yes.
That's what I really remember.
Oh yeah,
And
because like in a Charlie's, yeah, and at least one time in the film they like dress up like dudes, and this is like the dude scene.
yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I'm like, she just looks like Joe Dirt. But let's see. Oh yeah, and then there's the scene on the beach.
I like that's like a really iconic scene in this film.
Yeah, that was interesting because she's like just surfing, and then I guess, gosh, what's it? Is it Madison?
Yes,
Yeah.
Madison Lee.
She just kind of rolls up and is like, I don't know, like she used to be an angel. It's also like there's lesbian undertones that are pretty strong. I feel maybe overtones.
Maybe like very like early 2000s, like I Kissed a Girl.
Yeah,
Type of lesbian.
It's still over the
undertones.
top, but yeah.
And did you notice like Cameron Diaz is in white, Demi Moore's in black. So I'm like, oh, the good angel, the bad angel.
I didn't notice that. See, I feel like I need to watch this movie again.
Cameron
notice little
Diaz
things.
has like platinum blonde hair, and Demi Moore has like the long raven hair, light and dark.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. As far as like standout scenes. Well, there's the motocross scene, obviously. The Thin Man just showing up on the motorcycle and like ripping Dylan's hair. Was it Dylan, right?
Yeah. I love to see a Thin Man return. He's my favorite. He's my man.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I love seeing him and his pale self and his like hair. And
I loved the standout scene for me is they do a flashback of like the Thin Man's backstory, and it's like he looks like Tim Burton's Wednesday.
yes,
Just full creepy pale boy, and he like rips out the nuns played by Carrie Fisher's hair.
that was so funny to see Carrie Fisher for like 2 seconds. We had to like rewind and be like, is that her? Yes.
It was totally another cameo. And the Thin Man as like a little boy does the thing where he like sniffs the hair and screams, and then it's like the special effect is he jumps out of the chair
Mhm.
into the air and does a backflip.
I love that. And I love that he just like screams. Like he doesn't talk, he just screams.
Yes.
And does he not like getting his hair cut?
I guess
But he has to
not.
get it cut. It's like a double-edged sword, it seems. Like he goes in for the haircut like once I don't know, I forget what the nun said, but it was like he's got to get his hair cut, but then he always does that. He acts up.
It's like
So
a weird fetish.
yeah.
But obviously this man gets a haircut.
He keeps his hair like perfectly like coiffed.
Not to overthink this really fun movie, but like obviously he's getting a haircut.
Just us. We just have the hots for the Thin Man.
Yeah. Kind of like not Alex, Drew Barrymore's character. Dylan.
Oh yeah, she kind of catches the feelings for a second there.
Yeah.
Well, that was the scene you fell asleep, I think.
it was
like
so good.
yeah. But he like becomes like he turns good? Question
Mhm.
mark.
I suppose. I guess he wasn't that bad.
Maybe he wasn't
after
bad.
all.
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to smell hair. Maybe he's just a weirdo.
Yeah. I think he's just a freak.
Yeah. And he can do backflips and like also like, Matrix like stunts.
Yeah.
What's so wrong with that?
He's got style. He's got flair, you know?
Yeah, he's got a look for sure.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a freak. That's my thoughts on the Thin Man.
And then he died.
That was really sad.
That was really sad. I feel like they gave us the Thin Man and then they took him away just like that in an instant, and I was crushed.
What did you think of the other villain, Justin Theroux's O'Grady?
Okay, he was pretty funny just because of the way he was like saying certain words. He'd be like, "Can you feel the pain?"
Oh my god, that Irish accent had me weak.
Yeah, it was hard to take him like too seriously, but
Like the most over the top Irish accent.
he had such like a mean mug. But yeah, I mean, he was fun as like a villain though, just like because it felt like a cartoon villain. So I'm like, okay,
Definitely.
I kind of like that it's not perfect, like a perfect accent, or he's got this angry face.
Yeah, it's like so over the top.
Yeah.
He has like almost like a signature look with his little mohawk.
Yeah, I'm like, what is up with the mohawk? Like, it's hard to take someone serious with that mohawk, I think. Because it wasn't even like a full, like, he didn't have a shaved head in a mohawk. It was just.
It was very like a Tiger Beat mohawk, like very like
Yes.
teen.
I've
Jesse McCartney mohawk. or
I've
something.
seen that mohawk, and you're right.
Or like the love interest in What a Girl Wants. The guy with the dark hair, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not like that intimidating.
No. Also, Shia LaBeouf, a very
Oh.
2003 cameo,
Yeah, how could I forget about him?
which I looked up. Holes came out the same year.
It was the same. Okay, I was wondering because I'm like, is this around the same time? Because he looks like a bebe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. The same hair and everything, you know?
oh, Stanley Yelnats.
Yeah. I loved Holes.
Yeah. It was fun to see him there. I feel like there's so many celebrity cameos. It's
So
crazy.
many. Another standout is because Natalie is moving in with Pete, the other angels are worried that she's going to leave and like leave the angels. So they have like these flashbacks of like different celebrity cameos replacing one of the angels.
Oh, yeah. It's like a dream scenario. Like, what if?
Yeah.
Yeah, who was
Eve and then the Olsen twins.
Oh, yeah, the Olsen twins. That was pretty funny.
Which I always remember the Olsen twins because, I mean, they're the Olsen twins, but also their outfits they wore to the premiere. I've always been one of my favorites and core memories. Mary-Kate's wearing like a kimono dress that's red, and Ashley's wearing a brown. like floor length.
Ooh.
Which you could wear
slay.
something like this today. Both of those. And it'd
Yes.
be chic.
They could be angels.
100%.
You know? They could kick some butt. I could see. I mean, we've seen them in so many capers.
Oh yeah, they could solve any crime by dinner time.
Just teach them how to do some flips and.
So do you think New York Minute should have had bullet time choreography?
Yes, absolutely. No, New York Minute's great. Like on its own, it's good.
I think,
But that would be
really
fun. It would elevate it just a little, you know.
Which I like the fact that because Drew Barrymore produced this film and she's so against like guns and she's really pro gun control. I love how they just do kung fu.
Yes, I read about that and I thought that was interesting because they even make a comment about it in the movie. She's like, yeah, angels don't use guns, but Madison, the baddie angel,
uses a gun.
Yeah. 2 guns, I think.
Well, everyone uses guns against the angels, which is not fair.
Yeah, I'm like, these fights are not realistic. Like, there's no way.
Well, that first fight when the Madison reveal happens and Madison shoots all of them in the chest.
Yes.
I was like, so
they just lay on the ground and they zoom out. And then we go, I think that's when, is that when they cut to the Thin Man or they cut something to something?
They cut to something.
And you're just like, oh, okay, well, are they dead? And you're like, they can't be dead.
No. Also, they're not bleeding out. So cartoony. But
yeah.
She shoots all of them perfectly.
Right. Yeah. Right in the chest. That's crazy.
So I think they're magic. They're
not indestructible.
Yeah.
The angels are indestructible.
Oh, wait. No, it's a plot device. Oh, not a plot device, but it's in the plot. It's all coming back to me now. Silly me.
The disease.
The disease. Okay, wait. No. Remember in the beginning when we're introduced to Bernie Max Bosley?
Yeah.
And he's like, he spent a lot of money on these vests.
These
bulletproof vests.
I wasn't paying attention because I was like, since when were they wearing these vests?
I just picked up on that now. And I've seen this movie because during COVID, like peak COVID, I, for some reason, watched both the Charlie's Angels just like all the time. So I've seen this movie before. I saw this movie the other night with you.
Yes.
And this morning. And it just came to me now. So.
Yeah. And I don't even know how I missed that. But I think just the possibility of going full throttle, I was so excited just before watching and during watching that like maybe little details like I think I missed. Like the bikini. Like, you know, one wears white, one wears black bikini. Like I just missed that.
We're given the goods. I think it's effective, not to get too deep. It has to be effective because there's a lot of things that they're like throwing at us, a lot of references, a lot of like overt like symbolism and like just funness. That it's almost like we can just pick up on it. I don't know how to describe this, but like we don't have to notice, oh, Cameron Diaz is light. Demi Moore's dark. Like we just know that, so we can like we don't need dialogue. We don't need
they
like,
set the
exposition.
tone.
Yeah,
I feel like they do a good job with tone in this film.
They do, and it's like a tone I can't describe, but it's a good tone.
Yeah,
the vibes are immaculate.
Definitely,
it's a silly goose time.
I love this movie. It's my favorite. I think this year.
Yeah, yeah. This was your first time going full throttle.
Yeah.
I want to know your review
just in general.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't had this much fun watching a movie in a while. I'm trying to think. And it does give you the Tomb Raider's disease though. So like that should be the warning on the label. Is just you might get Tomb Raider's disease, but you'll have a good time.
It'll hit you in the heart, but not in the brain. Like you'll feel this movie.
You'll feel it, yeah. And I don't know. It's just such a good time. It's like going on like a ride. It's like going to the theme park for a day, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, again.
Definitely. Yeah. It is like riding a roller coaster you've ridden 100 times. You like still get a little thrill. You're like, oh no, the angels.
Yeah.
Like, back up.
Like, oh no, they're going to die. Maybe no.
No, I love how decidedly like lowbrow it is too. Like I think there's so many movies like nowadays or for like the past 10 years that are like ironic and like almost to like justify any zaniness.
Yeah.
It has to be like filled with like irony or like self-referential jokes. And like this has that, but it's also like It's just so cartoony and silly.
Yeah.
And it like doesn't care to be, it wants to be lowbrow.
There's like a lot of innuendos, I feel like, just throughout, you know?
So much sexualization of the angels.
Yeah.
Very of a time, but I don't mind it.
It is very of a time. It could be raunchy, but it is more, because it is so cartoony, it's hard to like, be mad at it, you know? And there's like a certain scene like that sticks with me where it's like Alex is, I think she's away. It's like she makes up a story. Like her dad comes to visit. And she's like, oh, I work at the hospital. And she says like the other two angels are also like they all just work at the hospital. That's why they're on call. Which is kind of, I think, is a smart.
It is very smart.
Like, cover.
Well, because you would never question that.
No. You'd just like, oh, I gotta go. It's emergency.
And because Charlie always calls them, why not?
Yeah. Perfect cover story, I think. And then I keep wanting to just call him Joey. But Jason,
who is starring in a film that's about to have a premiere
called Mega Extreme.
or it's like Maximum
or
Impact
Maximum Extreme
2. Or he's like
yeah, he has like a whole he's like so hyped about this film.
I love it.
And he introduces himself to the dad and he's like, oh, you know, the actor. Like it's just kind of funny. And then he goes into detail. Well, he doesn't go into full detail about Alex's job, but he like alludes to things and it just sounds kind of like she might be a sex worker.
A little Honora.
Yeah.
And then Alex comes in and she makes it extremely worse, being like, oh, I do it with 3 girls. I just took out 12 guys.
Yeah, it just sounds very like strange, but it's so funny because like the dad is like, oh, that's great, sweetie. And he's just like, you can tell he's kind of like, oh no, like did I do something wrong? Or like he's like dead inside, but he's trying to be supportive.
I love it.
I thought that was kind of cute in a way.
And after all of that, she's like, I'll tell you blow by blow. And he's like, great. We love a supportive dad, though.
Yeah, I just thought that part was funny. He's like, as long as you're happy.
Yes. But yeah, there's so many scenes where it's like over sexualized. And we talked about it when we talked about the first movie. But
yeah,
that's kind of like the thing about these Charlie's Angels.
That's part of it. Yeah, because there's even a scene. It's not really in the movie, but it's like in the credits where they're like doing a car wash for like no reason, really.
Totally.
Why would the Charlie's Angels like? Are they washing someone else's car? I don't know. It's
because it's fun. And I mean, I guess the 70s Charlie's Angels was super sexualized. And it didn't feel as like, at least these 3 women actually do have agency and autonomy.
Yeah.
And the guys kind of are like playthings. Like they are the main characters. It's not like they're the ones who are sexualizing themselves.
They use their feminine wiles sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it helps, you know, in their scenarios.
Sometimes you gotta use your feminine wiles.
I mean, that whole warehouse scene where they dance to the Pink Panther, they're looking very like Christina Aguilera Candyman music video.
Yeah.
You know, and then in all in the meantime, they're distracting these fellows and they're stealing their like credit cards and all sorts of things. So
that's how you do it.
Yeah. Oh.
That was probably like, I wonder if, I know Honora is a fake character, but like in my mind, Honora like watched the Pussycat Dolls and that was her pipeline.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh yeah, I noticed Demi Moore was wearing Louboutins.
Ooh, in what scene?
It might be like right before she shoots the speaker box or around the time like whenever she's on a rampage, I think like towards the end, you know? She's coming after the angels. There's like the movie premiere and
and she's wearing that like fabulous fur coat and like black bikini.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I don't know. I'm just like, ooh, fashion.
No, I loved Demi Moore. I loved all the fashion in this film, to be honest. I couldn't find a lot about it.
Yeah.
Like when I tried to research like the costume designer and everything, I didn't find a lot of backstory.
They did a great job. No, but I loved all the costumes.
What was your favorite costume?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I really liked the looks for the motocross scene. Those were fun. I mean, they did remind me of Spy Kids 3D a little.
I love it. I loved the motocross scene in general. I thought those outfits were iconic.
Yeah, they're so colorful too. I feel like a lot of the outfits in this film are so they just like pop, you know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a specific one for me. I mean, I love all of their like really 2000s like very 2002, like Cameron Diaz looks like she just came from like the set of The Sweetest Thing in some of her outfits, which I love. I also love that beach scene. I think like the simple bikinis I love, but also when they were working at like the lemonade stand, like Hot Dog Hut.
Oh yeah,
I love those like striped
those like hats,
costumes.
Yeah, it gives me like Welcome to Good Burger.
Yeah, I loved their Good Burger like beach outfits.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. There is a scene that stands out to me.
Yeah.
I think it's at the high school reunion where Cameron Diaz is dancing and she falls into the balloons, but then gets right back up and dances.
Yeah.
And like shakes off and is just like, I don't know. She's just so charming.
It's like in the first film, like a little nod when she, you know, does her like Soul Train dance.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, is this like a nod to that? Yeah. Cause she's dancing to, I think, what is it? The Last Dance?
Yeah. Donna Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that scene stands out to me for, speaking of The Sweetest Thing, a little bit, a bathroom scene. Like her going into the men's bathroom and like spying on the dudes and breaking all of the stalls and falling into the toilet.
That was hilarious.
With her Spider-Man underpants.
I feel like that's always my fear. Anytime I'm like eavesdropping, like something like that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like you're like listening and you're like, oh no, the wall's gonna fall. Like it's, I don't know. That's wild.
Yes. I guess as far as iconic or great scenes, Demi Moore's monologue where she said, "Why be an angel when you can play God?" And then there's a massive close-up on her, which is now a meme, where she was like, "I was never good. I was great." And one tear fall from her eye.
I loved that. I think, yes, this is her best performance.
Should that performance as Madison Lee have won her an Oscar?
Yes. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of screen time, arguably, but
best supporting actress for sure.
Yeah.
In the beginning scene, Natalie, she does help birth a cow.
Okay. I thought that looked real.
The mama cow is a mix of a real cow and a prosthetic cow. The cow blood is KY jelly and food coloring. The baby cow is a real cow.
Okay.
So it wasn't actually being born, but it was actually a baby cow.
But it was a baby cow. Okay. Gotcha. I was like, that cow itself looks real. And then I'm like, the way it's cut, like I thought, like, yeah, they could have made a prosthetic one possibly, but because like it just looks so good, I just was like convinced that maybe she literally delivered a baby cow on set. I don't know.
That KY jelly and food coloring was a little too convincing because I was like, no, this is fake. And then halfway through, I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, and if they used a real cow, because I was like, I could see like the ribs on that cow. Like it looks real. Like I know you can make like animatronic like stuff,
but it was real.
Wow. Thank you for putting that to rest.
Also, another IMDb fact. Speaking of the Matrix and like the Matrix sequels that come out this year. So Sony didn't choose the subtitle Full Throttle until the last minute. Tested audiences of boys said that they liked that better because McG originally wanted the subtitle to be Reloaded.
Oh.
So, which I don't know if that's true because, well, for one, wasn't the same summer The Matrix Reloaded came out.
Yeah.
So you can't have Charlie's Angels Reloaded and The Matrix Reloaded.
Also, what are you reloading? Because if there's no guns.
That's a good point.
I mean, obviously Madison has guns.
But now there is, yeah.
But still, you would be loading them for the first time. I don't know.
Yeah. Charlie's Angels 2 loaded for the first time.
That actually sounds kind of sexual, possibly. That could have worked. That could have gone well with the young men. I don't know. They could have tested that.
That gives it an R rating real fast.
Right.
No, I like Full Throttle.
Same. And plus the motorcycle, like that's fun. Or the motorbikes.
And it does feel like this film, oddly enough, because the first one is so like fun and wild and crazy and over the top. This one goes full throttle.
It does.
It's crazier. It's funnier. It's more CGI, more outfits, more songs.
Yeah. I feel like this movie is just like like a proper action film, you know?
It's how I like my action films.
Same.
Yeah. If Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible could like do his risky business dance and then like jump off an airplane, I might like them a little better.
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes like action movies are like a little too serious.
Yeah.
But this is perfect.
Yes. We need these angels now more than ever.
I know.
Yeah. After all the reboots and stuff, I'm like manifesting a Charlie's Angels.
Like Drew Barrymore, Charlie's Angels?
Yes. Only Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and Lucy Liu. They could come back.
Yeah.
That's what I want. But speaking of like backstory, are you familiar with the like 2003 Charlie's Angels premiere photo with Cameron Diaz like walking with Drew Barrymore with like champagne in their hands? Have you seen this photo?
I feel like I've seen like Drew Barrymore.
It's
with
a
champagne.
very iconic photo.
Oh, she's got a tramp stamp in the front.
Mm-hmm. And Drew Barrymore's wearing like "My Boyfriend's Out" shirt, just holding champagne.
What a vibe! Just two girlies,
but when
popping some bubbly.
Yes. Well, it's like when I think of the early 2000s and like naughties celebrity and fashion, I think of like this photo. But apparently in 2020, Drew Barrymore did give a backstory.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like, what did she say?
So, Drew Barrymore said, it was the New York City premiere of Charlie's Angels 2. She hired an old school bus with Christmas lights and hanging rubber chickens to take us there. She was like, "Trust me, this is going to be so fun to show up in." And then the vehicle started smoking from the hood before breaking down completely, meaning the pair had to walk the rest of the way. And then Drew Barrymore said, "But not before I grabbed the champers and said, well, this is good too." And off to our fun evening we went.
Yes.
And then she said about her and Diaz, "And we're all still peas in a pod."
Aw, I love that. I love hearing that they're peas in a pod. I want them to all be friends, like off this. You know what I mean? They're so convincing.
They are.
Oh.
I think that's why I like love the bloopers so much. Like I love these three's chemistry.
Yes. I feel, yeah, it's just hard to imagine, like, not to talk about reboots too much, but it's just like, how do you capture that magic? Like,
yeah, you'd have to like pick people that just have really good chemistry, which is doable. But yeah, it's like, sometimes I don't feel like we always get that, you know?
Yeah.
Nowadays.
It's like maybe a couple people do, but not everyone, or I don't know. That's really cool though. I love that they're just out with the champagne walking the streets. And what kind of bus is she talking about? Like with chickens? Like rubber chickens?
Beats me.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I mean, that does sound fun though.
It does.
I like how off the wall that sounds.
I love like just all the lore, like these Charlie's Angels films, especially just like Drew Barrymore with like Flower Films trying to like make everything a fun environment. And I don't know.
That is
just
cool
like hiring her friends and stuff. I really wish Drew Barrymore still produced a lot more.
Yeah, what happened to Flower Films? Why, like, I thought there was something she produced semi-recent, but maybe not. The Stand-In in 2020. Hollywood Squares. Wait a second. She's taken over Hollywood Squares?
Well, I guess Flower Films is doing the Drew Barrymore show now. So maybe that's like their bread and butter at the moment.
That makes sense.
But
wait a second. There's a Charlie's Angels 2011
that's a
TV series
show.
What? And it's also produced by Flower Films. That's crazy.
But they didn't do the last Charlie's Angels movie. So, and I guess the last like properly like theatrically released film of Flower Films is How to Be Single, which I did like. I like that film a lot.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson had a moment there, I feel.
Yeah. Like Pitch Perfect.
Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, she was in Bridesmaids too.
Yeah.
I always forget she's in Bridesmaids. I'm like Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
I know, I remember her.
Well,
anything else about Charlie's Angels Full Throttle?
I don't know. I loved every moment of this film.
I'm glad you liked it.
Were you worried?
I had like no doubt in my mind. But Yeah, no, I'm still glad you liked it because it's a fun time.
Yeah.
Everyone should go full throttle at least once.
I agree. This film's for anyone who wants to have a good time. What is your review?
Oh my God. I love Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. It's a
Yeah.
fun time. I forget about this film like in its plot every time. I forgot how little Demi Moore was in it,
Yeah.
but still very good. Would have loved like a third film. Like maybe if like it was split because I did like the O'Grady plot line, but I liked the Madison Lee plot line too.
It was fun. Yeah, they did give us a lot of plot lines
Yeah.
to work with.
But I'm really glad because they didn't make a third film, so maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, we got all the goods. I did think about that. I'm like, oh man, I wish there was a third. Like, who would be in the third film? Like, how would they follow this up? And then like, can you, once you go full throttle, like, can you even top that?
Once you go full throttle, you can't go back. Except I love an alternate reality where instead of all the Fast and the Furious like franchise films, if
It was
we got
Charlie's
Charlie's
Angels.
Angels.
Okay, I had this thought like while I was watching, like towards the end, I was thinking, you know what? I loved this movie so much. I wish there was another one. Like, what if this movie franchise, like this would be like a really good franchise? And then I was thinking about like just movie franchises and.
But I want it in the I want it in the 2000s.
Yeah, like retroactive. Like if it was
Yeah.
back, it'd be weird now to keep it going.
Yeah, definitely like not now. Just because I don't know, the fun of these films is a lot of that like nostalgia for the 2000s.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to see like who would have been the actor, like the love interest of Dylan's that was going to be the villain in the
I know.
third one.
That's so funny. That always happens to her. Yeah, because the Thin Man, they took him away. So
and like
unless there's a way that he survived that fall, and he comes back
I
again.
would hope so. The Thin Man has to come back no matter what. Also, I would love to see like where Matt LeBlanc was because like 2003 is like at the tail end of Friends, so he's still like Joey Tribbiani. I'd love to see in this alternate reality like Charlie's Angels 3 in 2006 when he's not on Friends and like Joey is kind of a flop. Like, is he going to be a struggling actor? Like, is it going to parallel?
Yes, because he was like on, like, I feel like in Full Throttle, his character's on the top of the world. Like, people are like asking for his autograph. Like, they're like, we love you. So, yeah, that would be fun to see.
Yeah. I'd love to see Cameron Diaz's character and Luke Wilson go through the recession and have to sell their house.
Oh.
But it's like a plot device, but then they turn out on top. I don't know.
Yeah. They dance in their living room. There's a moment where they have to dance again for no reason.
I don't know. I just want to see them through. I want to see the 10th or not 10th, like 20th reunion. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them throughout life retroactively.
Just like watch them.
Yeah. Or the Charlie's Angels at 9/11. Like just go back every year. I just want only Charlie's Angels all the time.
Yeah. That could just be the frame of reference. No other movies need to exist. Just Charlie's Angels.
And then spinoffs. I want the Matt LeBlanc and Luke Wilson, like Detroiters style.
Oh yeah, because
spinoff.
they're like friends too, right?
It's like Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Yes. I wanted to see more of them as friends too. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. I forgot that was the thing because that was in the first movie too.
I don't remember.
Or no? Did they just become friends?
It just feels right that they're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a big secret to keep. They're kind of
Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, they're keeping a Hannah Montana style secret.
You're right.
So I'd love a movie about that.
The secret's almost out.
I would love John Cleese, Alex's daddy. I'd love a spinoff.
That's who
him.
that was.
Yeah.
I thought he looked familiar. I'm like, who is this man? I've seen him in like a couple things.
Yeah, I feel like he's like pops up in like everything.
His reactions were hysterical.
Definitely. Well, and I want his spinoff where he has to tell the mom that
he has to break the news.
he has to break the news. And like he goes through a whole identity crisis because, he feels like Alex is pulled in a Nora. And it's like keeping a lie from him.
Intervention. Eventually finds out, that she's fighting crime and
maybe he's a villain. I feel like John Cleese always plays a secret villain.
Yes. Yeah, he turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd love that origin story.
We wrote
too.
it, so someone just needs to make it.
Yes. 2 full, 2 throttle.
Now we know what we would do if we had a hot tub time machine. We'd go back in time, convince McG,
Yes.
present a script to him.
Yes. Charlie's Angels. 2 full, 2 throttle. Title of the episode. Anyways. Anything else before we wrap this baby up? Before we have our own blooper reel montage.
Yes, I am working on our blooper reel.
Also, I just realized the time.
Oh,
We have engagements.
oh, we do. We have
people coming
we
over.
do. That went by so fast.
Yes. It really did. Time does fly, but it is like our real life. Vroom vroom.
I know. We hit the gas.
We went full throttle.
We did.
And now we have to pump the brakes.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.